Auckland is home to nearly 1.7 million people, about a third of New Zealand's entire population. This is the country's largest city, and it's been built on an ancient volcanic field where some 50 dormant cones still dot the landscape. Auckland is also known as the City of Sails. It has one of the highest rates of boat ownership per capita in the world. Now, we started our tour in Auckland. We flew into Auckland and we did a couple of days out on our own. So if you want to see those videos, I'll link them down below. And now we're going to see everything that the group can provide to us, get a little more information about the local culture. And we have some unique things in store. So I hope you can join us for this tour. Honestly, we did a lot of random things while we were here. We spent our independent time just getting familiar with the central business district. We did some shopping so we could bring home some souvenirs. We wanted to get that out of the way while we were in the big city. I always like going inside the local grocery stores to see how the food is different from where we're from. And I'll show you a few really interesting places we found. Now, of course, one of the must-see sights is the Sky Tower. This is Auckland's most recognizable landmark. It's actually the tallest freestanding structure in the southern hemisphere at 328 meters or 1,076 feet. And right now, it's got observation decks up on the top, it's got dining at the top with 360-degree views, and there are adventure experiences up there such as sky jumping and a skywalk. Now, we actually didn't go visit up top, but I found a really amazing place where you can get views of the city for much cheaper, so you're going to want to stick around till the end to hear about that. Now, at the bottom here of this tower is a large entertainment complex. They've got a large casino. In fact, it's New Zealand's only major casino, multiple restaurants, bars, cafes, and you can even find the All Blacks experience. This is the New Zealand rugby team that is huge in New Zealand. This is St. Matthew in the City Church. It was built in the early 1900s. It replaced a smaller wooden structure that was here in 1843. It was one of the earliest Anglican places of worship. It's long been known for its progressive activism, including women's rights, marriage equality, and homelessness. This here is Aotea Square. You can expect to find a gathering, market, or art display here in this main square. This is an awesome Māori art piece here in the center of town. It's right here next to Town Hall. One thing I've noticed is, boy, there are a lot of buses. I don't see subway, there's a train station, and buses. There's tour buses, but there's also Metro City buses. A lot of people that come down to the central business district to work all ride the public bus system. Traffic was also pretty bad coming into Auckland after we kind of explored on our own for a couple of days. This is the historic Civic Theater, if you like Broadway shows. No matter where you are in the world, you're gonna find the McDonald's and the Subway and KFC. Before we leave the central business district, let me show you some areas of town that I really liked. Now, right over here is a wonderful collection of stores and restaurants. And we found this little cove called Snickle Lane. These hanging plants and the warm lights really caught my eye, but they had a fantastic coffee shop right there by the outside on Commerce side of the road. And then as you go in, it's this little cove. There's a flower shop and there's a fantastic vegetarian restaurant. And there's also a fun bar called Truth or Dare, all in this little cove. So Cuckoo is the restaurant that we discovered later in the week, and we didn't realize it was also in the same location. So if you're looking for a good place to find a bite to eat or a cup of coffee, I do recommend this area. And then we also went to a place called Harbor Eats, And this is a huge food court with a giant selection and a fun bar. So if you're with a group and you want to have a wide variety of places to choose from, this is another great place to get a bite to eat. After shopping in a few really unique stores, we stumbled upon Albert Park. From where we were at, it's a pretty steep walk up to the top of the park. This was actually another one of those volcanoes that erupted about 145,000 years ago. So you're actually walking up here on an ancient volcanic ground. Originally, this area was a Māori settlement. In the 1840s, the British built the Albert Barracks on this hill. It served as a fortification, and soldiers were stationed there until about 1871. The central fountain dates from about 1881. It's got a really pretty rotunda bandstand that was built in 1901. It's considered one of the oldest in the Auckland region, and there's a bronze statue here of Queen Victoria that was set up in 1899 to commemorate her Diamond Jubilee. Here's a little fun fact. Beneath the park are extensive tunnels that were built in 1941. They were used as air raid shelters, but were decommissioned and sealed up before World War II ended. Now, as we left the park, there was some really interesting, beautiful architecture on these buildings here, and it turns out this is part of the University of Auckland. So we really enjoyed walking around this area. So now we hop on the bus and we take a ride across town over to Bastion Point. This peaceful park with its incredible views across the harbor is where I had my real introduction to Maori history. And it's a story that I am still learning about. We had a Maori local guide that shared some very powerful stories with us. Now, if you don't know, the Maori people were the first people to discover and live in New Zealand. And then much later, in 1769, Captain James Cook landed in New Zealand, and by the early 1800s, English settlement began. Now here is where I learned about the Treaty of Waitangi that was signed in 1840. Maori believed they were agreeing to share the land with the Crown, not surrender it. But over time, much of their land was taken or sold under pressure, leaving many communities feeling betrayed. Now this is a much more complicated story than this. But as I'm beginning to learn it, I'm sharing with you just a few tidbits. Now right here at Bastion Point, Maori families lived on the land their ancestors had cared for generations. Over time, the British government claimed more and more land, and in the early 1950s, officials claimed they needed to clean up this area before the Queen's visit. It was considered substandard, and they were using that as an excuse. The truth is, the Queen never came. It was a story made up to justify clearing the land. The families who refused to leave were forced out, and many of their homes were burned. Finally, in 1977, the community had had enough. They returned and occupied this hilltop for 506 days to stop what remained from being sold for development. Protesters were eventually forcibly removed, but that occupation became a major turning point. It helped spark a broader movement for Maori land rights across New Zealand. And in 1991, the land was finally returned. And you can see their local community built right over the hillside here. Now at this park, there's also a memorial here to Michael Joseph Savage. He was the Prime Minister from 1935 through 1940. He led the country through the Great Depression, and he established New Zealand's comprehensive welfare state, and it was groundbreaking at the time. He introduced free health care for all New Zealanders, a state pension system, and public housing programs. Now this afternoon, we're here at Mission Bay. We just had lunch. Just look at this beautiful beach park here. And there's many fantastic restaurants right along this road. We ate at Mission Bay Cafe and it was delicious. Look at how beautiful. I want to go. So, we spent the morning, oh, it's probably covered in wind, but at a park with wet grass, so I have my waterproof shoes on. But I just wonder, here comes Kitty. I just wonder how warm the water is.
My feet are very wet.
I bet. We're going to be covered in sand now.
Because it went over my shoes.
Maybe we should get out of the sand and so our feet will dry off before the bus. But is it warm water or is it cold water? I bet it's cold. Let's see. How cold? Oh yeah, it's nice and cold. Cold water, but oh so beautiful. Now, I believe they told us about these. These are the New Zealand Christmas trees, and I can't remember what the native name of them are, but in December they're covered in beautiful red blooms. So I learned something new every day. All right. I feel like this is one of the best secrets here to get beautiful sky views of Auckland without having to pay the prices of the Sky Tower. There's a restaurant up on the Sky Tower, but there's also a bar called Bar Albert that is connected to our hotel. It's in the same building. You have to go downstairs and around the corner, and then you can, I think it's like Voco, I think, was the name of the hotel. But you go inside the lobby, go up to the top floor, what's it, the 38th floor? I think it was the 38th floor. And you can come up here for a drink, and you can get some really amazing views of the city for a little less expensive than the Sky Tower. So that was a great tip. Right here is the entrance to Bar Albert. This is where you can get some pretty amazing views. If you just want to buy a drink and it's going to be less expensive than going up on the Sky Tower. It's easily missed. It's the Voco and IHG Hotel. And there's a restaurant called Mozzarella and Company that's right next door. So if you see this, Mozzarella and Company, it's right next to the Holiday Inn Express. And this is what you're going to want to look for. It's actually the same building as the Holiday Inn Express, and then you just go up to the 38th floor. Now, they did tell us that if you go on a Friday or Saturday that you do need to get reservations in advance, especially if you want a table right by the glass. We went in at like 4 something before the dinner rush, and we were very quick, and so we got a table that was not by the window, but then we went and we were able to just walk over to the window to get some amazing views. And so you just come around the corner, go up the escalator. We're staying at the Holiday Inn Express here in the business district of Auckland. And so that bar is just right next door and up on the top. Just a quick peek at where we stayed at the Holiday Inn Express here in the central business district. The rooms were a little smaller than what you typically expect in the United States, but the hotel was really nice, and there was a really nice breakfast area. The breakfast was really big every morning, and they even had you could get drinks at a bar down there in the afternoon where they were always working. So I really enjoyed my stay here, and it even had a microwave refrigerator, and we were lucky enough to have views of the Sky Tower from our room. So the welcome dinner for the group is tonight, which is Friday night. It's actually, yesterday is when everybody on the group tour arrived, and it's actually considered day 4 of the tour because the first 2 days are in flight because you lose a day coming to New Zealand. So we have a welcome dinner tonight on the waterfront, and that'll be the end of the day today for this tour. Maritime Museum. Oh, There's all kinds of stuff down here. What's the name of the restaurant?
Oh, that restaurant's called Giraffe. And
Oh yeah, okay, Giraffe. So we're down here by the waterfront for the evening, and it is beautiful.
And if they are, there's a
Sky Tower in the background. All the boats here. We have the Maritime Museum here, and quite a large selection of restaurants and bars. We're a little early for our dinner reservation, so there's the Park Hyatt straight ahead. I gotta get a closer look here.
Yeah,
let's get a closer look at how the other half lives here. The cleaning, the dining facilities. You've got the jet skis up top. Wow. What a beautiful waterfront area here. I think they said they call Auckland the city of sails, I think, and now I know why. And there's an event center over here. It looks like some old military ships over there. I don't know what ASB is, but that's a closer look at the Park Hyatt in Auckland. What a beautiful city. In this area at night, when the lights come on, it's going to be gorgeous.
Doing a thing called manu.
They are swimming laps
and
here.
Manu is they have competitions every year, and they build these huge platforms all along here, and you can go higher and higher. You can jump from a different height.
Oh, diving.
You do a manu. So the idea is that you go down like this with your
cannonball.
with your butt,
Yeah.
and then the bigger the puff, you've won.
Then you win. Who
And
can
you
make
run.
the
So
biggest
we have
splash?
manu
You call those
competitions.
manos? We
Yeah,
call them
manu.
cannonballs.
So we have manu competitions in every
Cannonball
child
competition
can
here
go. And then
in
they
this
also-
area. How
yeah,
fun.
the Mum and dad's here, and it's a whole family weekend.
This is where we're eating tonight. Looks like a fun place.
My daughter's social.
Oh, this is a fun place. Beautiful. Okay.
Watch your feet.
Where is... Hello! What a fun area to come in the evenings to eat. Friday night, this place is absolutely happening. Giraffe was an amazing restaurant. Just look how beautiful this area is at night. Service and a lot of fun. Great evening here in Auckland. There he goes.